In this video, I'm going to explain the new 2026 dinosaur movie, The End of Oak Street. If you want to know the complete story of this movie, then make sure you watch this video till the end, because the story keeps getting more mysterious and dangerous as it moves forward. So without wasting any time, let's start the movie The End of Oak Street. The movie begins in the year 1985, and we are introduced to an area called Oak Street. Everything here looks completely normal, peaceful, and happy. All the people in the neighborhood are living their normal lives, and everyone seems to have a good relationship with their neighbors. At the same time, some light reports about an upcoming storm can be heard on the radio, but nobody is really worried about it. In this family, there is a young boy named Brian. He is riding his bicycle with his friends, and basically, Brian and his friends are running away from another group of children. After running around for a while, Brian somehow manages to make it back home. That night, the entire family sits together for dinner. The heroine of the movie is Denise, and we see her lovingly petting her dog. Everyone is eating together, making jokes and laughing with each other, although Denise seems a little sad at the same time. Eventually, everyone goes to sleep, but only a short while later, a light storm starts outside. Their dog is tied up in the backyard, and suddenly lightning flashes right in front of him. The dog gets scared and starts barking. The lightning becomes louder and more intense, and the sound wakes Brian up. Brian gets out of bed and starts watching the storm. In another room, his sister Audrey is eating chocolates, but when she sees the storm outside, she also becomes a little frightened. Brian decides to go outside and check whether his dog Starbuck is okay. When he reaches Starbuck, he realizes that the dog has become scared after seeing something outside. Brian also becomes shocked because he cannot understand what frightened the dog so badly. The next morning, the entire family sits together for breakfast. Brian asks everyone if they saw that strange light in the sky during the previous night. His dad asks him which light he is talking about. Brian explains that the wind was blowing like crazy, and Starbuck was extremely scared and kept barking. Denise tells him that it was probably just a normal storm, and she thinks the strange light he saw was probably from a helicopter. His dad then starts joking and says that maybe it was a UFO or maybe aliens had arrived. Audrey immediately tells her dad to shut up and ask what kind of joke that is. Then Brian starts petting Starbuck, and we can still see fear in the dog's eyes, which makes the situation even more suspicious. After breakfast, Denise goes into the kitchen to wash the dishes, but she suddenly realizes that there is no water coming from the taps. They check everything in the house, but there is still no water. Then we get a look at the outside area, and everything seems completely deserted. There is nobody outside, and even the bicycles have fallen down in the garden. After checking everything, the family realizes that there is no water anywhere, and the electricity is not working either. They want to find out what is happening, so they start asking their neighbors, but the neighbors are facing exactly the same problem. They also have no water and no electricity. The family checks a few more houses and finally realizes that the entire Oak Street neighborhood has lost power. While mom and dad are outside checking the situation, Brian and Audrey stay at home. Suddenly, Audrey looks through the window and notices something strange outside. Brian also sees it. The two of them see a huge and very strange tail moving outside. They are shocked because they have never seen anything like it before. They start discussing what it could have been, but neither of them can figure it out. Brian asks Audrey what kind of animal it was because he has never seen an animal like that before. Audrey then decides to go outside and check the area. When she looks into the bushes, she sees the same strange creature again. Audrey becomes shocked and frightened because she still has no idea what this thing is. However, one thing is very clear. Whatever this creature is, it is extremely large. Just then, mom and dad return home, and the children tell them everything they saw. After listening to the children, dad takes a baseball bat, while mom takes a gun. The two of them go outside to look for the creature. Near the garbage, dad suddenly notices something strange. He sees a huge shadow, and the creature appears to have an extremely long neck. At first, dad is shocked, but he slowly tries to get a better look. He reaches the area, but before he can properly see the creature, it suddenly runs away. Dad tells Denise which direction the creature went, and because Denise has a gun, the two of them follow it without wasting any time. After walking in that direction, they see the creature again. Now they realize that this is an extremely large and strange animal, and they also notice that it has a huge beak. They are still discussing what kind of creature it could possibly be when suddenly the creature attacks a person and kills him. Denise immediately fires her gun at the creature, but she misses. The sound of the gunshot makes the creature notice them, and it immediately starts chasing them. Denise and her husband children start running toward their house as fast as they can. While they are running, a lady comes outside her house. Denise and her husband shout at her to get inside the house quickly. The lady looks at them and says that she just heard a gunshot, but before she can do anything else, the huge creature grabs her by the neck and kills her. After killing the woman, the creature turns back and continues chasing Denise and her husband. They finally reach their house and start banging on the door as loudly as possible, but the children still have not opened the door. The creature gets closer and closer. Denise becomes extremely frightened and starts screaming. The creature is now almost right next to them. Then the children finally open the door. Denise and her husband rush inside. In the confusion, the magazine of the gun falls onto the ground. They somehow manage to close and lock the door, and they barely survive. The creature tries to get inside the house, but after some time, it leaves. Everyone is completely terrified, and they start discussing what is happening. Denise asks what kind of animal could possibly be that huge and dangerous. Audrey says that the creature looked like a dinosaur. Brian then reminds everyone that the huge tail they saw earlier also belonged to some enormous creature. Now the family starts making a theory. They think these could be different species of animals that were being transported somewhere else. Maybe some kind of accident happened because of the storm and the animals escaped. Since these dangerous creatures are now roaming outside, the family decides to stay inside the house. Night arrives and the children have already brought Starbuck inside. Later that night, they hear a very strange sound coming from behind the house. The sound seems to be coming from the bathroom area, so they slowly move toward it. It is completely dark, so they light a match, and then they see something terrifying. Outside the house is an enormous creature, and it is so tall that its height reaches the second floor. Dad becomes completely shocked, and the entire family becomes frightened because they have never seen anything this huge before. Somehow, they manage to go back to sleep, hoping that everything will become normal by morning. The next morning, they slowly open the door and carefully look outside. There is nobody there. Denise quietly goes outside and brings the car around. She tells the children and the dog to sit in the back. She also tells them to stay low so that no creature can see them. They start driving, but they do not see anyone anywhere. There is nobody in the houses, and there is nobody on the streets. At this point, the family decides that they need to leave the city. They try to drive out of the area, but suddenly they are forced to stop. Dad looks ahead and says that they will never be able to get out of there. The children also come forward to see what is happening, and everyone becomes completely shocked. The road ahead is broken, almost as if a huge earthquake has happened. But there is something even stranger. On the other side of the broken road, they can see huge trees and a massive amount of greenery. Then they get a clear view of what is beyond the broken road, and there they see several brachiosauruses and flying dinosaurs. There is an entire jungle in front of them, with huge dinosaurs walking around, while some flying creatures can be seen far away in the sky. Now the family starts wondering where these dinosaurs came from. Nobody has an answer. They think maybe an earthquake happened and the land in front of them collapsed. Then they start thinking that maybe they are inside some kind of horrible dream, and everything will soon be over. But they pinch each other and realize that this is not a dream. They look around and see that several houses have also been destroyed. They can also see a bus, but they cannot find the rest of it anywhere below. They become extremely frightened and decide to return home. While going back, they see the same dinosaur that killed the woman earlier. Because of this, they immediately rush back home and decide to make the house as safe as possible. They take wooden pieces from unnecessary parts of the house and use them to block the doors and windows. They are doing this so that no dinosaur can enter the house. After securing the entire house, everyone finally sits down. They start discussing what happened to the rest of their Oak Street neighborhood. Denise suddenly realizes something and says that their entire neighborhood may have been shifted to another place. Dad cannot believe it and asks how an entire street could possibly be shifted to another location. Audrey then gives another theory. She says that maybe they have somehow arrived in prehistoric times. Brian agrees with her because after seeing so many dinosaurs, he also thinks that they might really be in prehistoric times. And guys, this is where the situation gets even more dangerous because the family has finally realized that they may not be dealing with an ordinary disaster at all. They could actually be trapped in a completely different time, and now they have to figure out how they are going to survive. So guys, after realizing that they may actually be trapped in prehistoric times, the family has no idea what to do next. After doing so much work to secure the house, everyone starts feeling hungry. They have not even had breakfast since morning, so they take some food and start eating. While eating, Dad says that they are all going to survive. He says that God would never leave them there to die. Denise immediately points out that he only goes to church one day a year, and that is Christmas Day, yet he is still telling the children that God will help them. Brian then says that they should not even exist in prehistoric prehistoric times. He says that if God could not save the dinosaurs from extinction, then how are they supposed to survive? Audrey tells them to forget all of that and asks what will happen to the people outside, who are probably becoming food for the dinosaurs. Just after this conversation, they hear the voice of a girl outside. Mom tells everyone that before going outside, they should pick up something that can be used as a weapon. Brian already has a bow and arrow, so he takes it with him. They go outside and find the girl. She is someone they already know because she lives nearby in their neighborhood. They decide to bring her back home with them, but suddenly they feel something like an earthquake. The ground feels like it is shaking slightly. They keep both girls in the middle and slowly move forward. As they continue walking, they see the tail of a huge dinosaur behind one of the houses. They cannot get a proper look at it because the tail disappears almost immediately. They continue slowly toward their house. Suddenly, they hear a very loud roar. They have no idea what creature made the sound, but everyone becomes extremely frightened. Then an Allosaurus appears from the front. Everyone panics and hides in different places. The Allosaurus enters the area, but it cannot see anyone. Then it suddenly hears a sound coming from behind one of the houses. Brian and Audrey are hiding there. The Allosaurus finds them, and the two of them immediately run for their lives. The dinosaur is about to eat them when their dad suddenly arrives and distracts the creature. Now the Allosaurus starts chasing their dad. Dad runs for his life and gets slightly injured while trying to escape. Then Denise arrives and shoots at the Allosaurus. Now the Allosaurus starts chasing Denise. Denise runs onto the roof of a house, but the dinosaur continues following her. Her husband runs toward her to save her. At that moment, Denise shoots the dinosaur directly in the face. The Allosaurus gets injured and finally runs away. Everyone becomes extremely relieved and hugs each other. The girl they rescued also joins them. They all return home, and after a short while, night arrives again. When they are inside the house, they realize that Starbuck is missing. It is already nighttime, but they still decide to go outside and search for their dog. They are looking for Starbuck when they suddenly hear some strange noises. They look around and discover 4 or 5 Utah raptors. Everyone immediately starts running away. They reach the car, lock the doors, and hide inside. The Utah raptors attack their car and even climb onto it. Greg tries his best to protect his wife and make sure that nothing happens to her. After some time, the Utah raptors finally leave. During the attack, Greg, the husband, injures his leg slightly. They return home and Greg rests because of his injury. The next morning, everyone has breakfast, but they realize that the food is almost completely finished. Brian turns on the radio, but there are no human voices coming from it. Instead, they can only hear strange dinosaur sounds. The sounds seem to be coming from flying dinosaurs. The family decides that they need to go outside and find some resources, especially food. Since their dad is injured, he stays at home. The other 4 go outside to search for food. They enter a house and search around. Luckily, they manage to find a little bit of food, but when they come outside, they notice that the entire area is suddenly covered in smoke or fog. They start wondering where this fog suddenly came from. Now everyone becomes even more alert. They slowly move forward, choosing the direction where the fog appears to be lighter, but the fog does not become thinner, so they decide to climb onto the roof of a house. All 4 of them climb up. From the roof, they finally see what is happening. The jungle has caught fire. Denise says that as if everything else was not already enough, now they also have to survive a massive fire. A short while later, they see a Stegosaurus on the road. The Stegosaurus is moving away because of the fire. While they are watching it, Starbuck suddenly appears. The rope around his neck has been cut. He looks up at them from below and starts barking loudly. At first, they think Starbuck is barking at them, but after a moment, they realize that he is actually looking toward the sky. They look up too, and they see flying dinosaurs. Brian and the girl move downstairs, but the flying dinosaurs are still chasing Denise and Audrey. Somehow, they manage to escape the flying creatures and get back down. Audrey and Denise hide inside a house. The girl hides somewhere else. Brian also hides in another place. Suddenly, a small dinosaur starts chasing Brian. Brian runs away from it and goes upstairs. He closes the door behind him, but the little dinosaur still refuses to stop chasing him. Brian keeps trying to escape. Finally, the door locks completely, and Brian manages to survive. Meanwhile, Audrey and Denise discover something extremely strange inside the house. Denise has no idea what it is, but Audrey believes that it looks like some kind of portal. They test the portal by throwing a few objects into it. The objects disappear and reach the other side. Now they believe that they may have finally found a way to go home. Denise wonders how this portal even appeared inside the house, but instead of wasting more time trying to understand it, they immediately start looking for Brian and the girl. They find the girl first. Brian is still nowhere to be seen. After searching for some time, they finally find Brian as well. Now all 4 of them start heading back toward their house through the thick fog. While they are walking through the fog, they suddenly encounter a Giganotosaurus. Because the fog is so thick, the Giganotosaurus cannot see them properly. It soon moves away. The 4 of them finally make it back home and tell Dad everything that happened. They have a long discussion about the portal and realize that they may have finally found a way back home. At night, the fog disappears. Now they immediately make a plan to leave. They also discover that Starbuck has made it back home. That same night, everyone gets inside the car. But just when they are about to leave, a massive and extremely dangerous dangerous dinosaur appears. It starts attacking the car and tries to completely destroy it. It hits the car from the side. This is a T-Rex. The T-Rex slowly pushes their car and eventually forces it into their own house. The family somehow manages to survive the attack. After the T-Rex finally leaves, they get out of the car. Now they decide that they will continue the journey on foot. The house containing the portal is not very far away. As they walk toward it, they notice that the fire has spread even further. They discuss the situation and believe that the fire probably started because of the lightning. Finally, they reach the house containing the portal. There, they also find a cat. They see the portal again, and without wasting any time, they decide to cross it. Brian takes the dog with him. Audrey takes the cat with her. The third girl goes through the portal alone. Finally, the husband and wife go through the portal together. When they reach the other side, they realize that they have arrived in a completely different time. The place they have arrived in has already suffered a huge amount of destruction. Everything around them looks damaged and destroyed. And then they finally discover the year. They have reached the year 208. So guys, overall, this was my prediction and theory about the end of Oak Street. Remember, everything I explained in this video is only my theory, and around 20 to 30% of the things I predicted could turn out to be completely wrong. Personally, I actually want to be completely wrong because I want the movie to surprise us and turn out to be something completely different. So throughout this entire video, I have explained my complete theory. If you have another theory about what is really happening in the end of Oak Street, then make sure you tell me about it in the comments. And along with this, I have also made an update video about Dammy 4, so make sure you check that video out as well. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure you like the video and also hype it up. And if you enjoy watching this kind of creature-related content, then you can also subscribe to the channel. That's it for today, guys. See you in the next video, guys.